has Donald Trump's first jobs report and consumer sentiment report to hit. Donald Trump is trying to have his right-wing propaganda going in full force, but it's not really working. Folks, Donald Trump is having a meltdown this morning. He's on a posting tear, trying to distract us from a very bad jobs report and a very bad consumer sentiment report. Donald Trump's press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, is out there trying to blame this all on former President Biden. That's not working.
Breaking news: eggs are now more valuable than gold. Okay, not really, but have you seen those price tags lately? It's enough to make anyone's wallet weep. But here's the real kicker. While we're all crying over our grocery bills, Trump's having a full-blown meltdown. Apparently, he can't handle the heat of his own economic kitchen. Let's crack this case wide open.
Oh, Donald, you want us to chase that shiny object? No, I'm just pointing it out to show we the people, your WMD, your weapon of mass distraction, from what you're really trying to distract about. So Donald Trump immediately started making posts like this. Eugene Robinson of the Washington Post is so incompetent. So sad to see him trying to justify the waste, fraud, and corruption at U.S. aid with his pathetic radical left spin. Then Donald Trump posts this. I will be signing an executive order next week ending ridiculous Biden push for paper straws, which didn't work. Back to plastic in caps.
And see why the stable genius is scrambling for excuses. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
Prices are not going lower. Prices are going higher. More jobs aren't going to be created. I thought you said on day one it was all going to be a miracle. And there's not peace in Ukraine. Housing's not affordable. Back to plastic. Oh, Donald, it's plastic. Oh, my God. Maybe I shouldn't focus on the fact that you betrayed all Americans, including your voters. Because here's what we just learned. The first jobs report has been released under the Trump presidency, and he is losing jobs. With layoffs in federal government, we can now expect to see a spike in unemployment in coming months.
All right, folks, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Or should I say, the overpriced egg in the carton. Turns out, Trump's economic miracle is more like a magic trick gone wrong, and we're all left holding the empty hat. Remember when Trump promised us the best economy ever? Well, it seems the only thing that's booming is our grocery bills. You know things are bad when even Fox News can't sugarcoat this omelet of disaster. They're actually admitting that people are experiencing some serious sticker shock at the store, especially when it comes to eggs. I guess you could say Trump's economic policies are leaving us with egg on our face. But hey, don't worry about those rising prices or job losses. Trump's got it all under control. He's tweeting about plastic straws, because when you can't afford breakfast, the real problem is clearly how you sip your overpriced soda, right?
Under President Biden, it exceeded expectations, 256,000 jobs added. And when you went back and looked at some revisions that had to be made under the Biden presidency, the U.S. economy added only 143,000 new jobs in January, which was far fewer than what was expected if you look at the last jobs report.
Talk about scrambled priorities. Speaking of scrambled, let's crack open some numbers. The U.S. economy only added 143,000 new jobs in January 2023. That's fewer than expected, folks. It's like Trump's job creation machine is running on empty, kind of like our wallets after a trip to the grocery store. But wait, there's more. Trump's brilliant economic strategy includes tariffs and tax breaks for billionaires, because nothing says helping the common folk like making sure the ultra-rich can afford a few more yachts while the rest of us debate whether we can splurge on a dozen eggs this week. And get this, Trump's policies have got people so worked up about inflation that 1/3 of consumers are mentioning tariffs as a concern. That's up from 27% the previous month. Looks like people are starting to see through the smoke and mirrors of Trumponomics. But the real kicker, Trump's being compared to Herbert Hoover, you know, the guy who presided over the Great Depression. Apparently, they're both part of the exclusive presidents who lost jobs during their first term club. Not exactly the kind of winning Trump usually brags about, is it? Looks like our pal Donnie Diapers is at it again, folks. This time, he's trying to scramble his way out of a real economic disaster. But don't worry, he's got a foolproof plan. Blame everyone else. First up on Trump's hit list, good old Joe Biden. Yep, you heard that right. Trump's press secretary is pointing fingers at Biden for the lousy job numbers. It's like blaming your ex for burning dinner when you're the one holding the smoking pan. Nice try, Trumpy, but we all know Biden's last jobs report was as sunny side up as they come, with a whopping 256,000 jobs added. That's a lot of bacon to bring home. But wait, there's more. Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is calling out Trump's economic shenanigans, saying he's making America broke again. Ouch. She's not pulling any punches, pointing out that January's job growth was weaker than a watered-down cup of Cov-Fif. In fact, it's the worst start to a year since 2016. Remember 2016, folks? That's when Trump promised to make America great again. Looks like he forgot to mention the Great Recession part of the deal. Now let's talk about those pesky tariffs. You know, the ones Trump swore would fix everything. Well, surprise, surprise, they're about as popular as a rotten egg at a picnic. 1/3 of consumers are worried about them, up from just a tiny fraction before the election. It's almost like people don't enjoy paying more for stuff. Who knew? But don't worry, folks. Trump's got it all under control. And by under control, we mean he's pointing fingers faster than a game of economic twister. China, Mexico, the Easter Bunny, they're all to blame. Meanwhile, average Americans are left wondering if they'll be able to afford breakfast next week. Here's the real kicker. Experts are saying Trump's economic magic act might be running out of rabbits to pull out of the hat. They're warning that his policies could lead to more job insecurity and higher prices. It's like Trump's trying to make the Apprentice America edition, but instead of "you're fired," it's "you're broke." Well, folks, it looks like Trump's economic genius has left us with more than just overpriced eggs. It's scrambled the whole darn system. The Orange Menace's brilliant plan has cooked up a recipe for disaster, with income inequality rising faster than a souffle in a hot oven. Grumpy Trumpy's policies have got average Americans struggling to put food on the table, while the fat cats at the top are living high on the hog. But don't worry, there's still hope. We can fight back against Donnie Diapers' economic disaster by staying informed. Check out those fact-checking websites, join some local chats about the economy, and maybe learn how to grow your own veggies, because who can afford store-bought these days? Remember, knowledge is power, and it's a lot cheaper than a dozen eggs. So next time you're at the grocery store, staring at those egg prices with your jaw on the floor, just think, thanks, Trump, for this egg-sellent economy.